Hey girl, hey, welcome back to the Your Pretty Pennies YouTube channel. I'm Tara Jones-Williamson, your financial and lifestyle success coach. Welcome back to the channel. I wanted to kick off this month and this season by talking about things that we need to be doing with our money, some financial principles and basics. And I wanted to start off with my story and how I paid off over $60,000 in less than 2 years. And also this, if you see by the title, this is also doubling as, how 20 and 30-year-old something women should be handling their finances. This is a lot of great tips and tricks and gems on how to really get ahead and really just quantum leap in your finances, really clean up your financial mess that you've made in your early 20s or late teens or what have you. And so let's just jump right in. So if you are new around here, I am married. I've been married for the last almost 3 years, and I do have 3 children. I have 1 biological child and 2 bonus children. Before I got married in 2020, I was a single mother for 10 years, okay? I had my daughter in 2009, and I was smack dab in the middle of college, right? I was flat broke. I was a broke college student. I was going to school full time and working part-time here and there when I could. I was going for a biology degree. I thought I was going to go to medical school, thought I was going to become a doctor, all that good stuff. And so when I had my daughter and became a single mother in college, basically, it just put me in a financial rut more than I was already in. At that time, I did not know any financial basics, any financial skills, and I really had to learn how to manage money. So I went back to school. I had her in the summer of 2009, went back to school full time at that fall. And I enrolled in finance classes alongside of my biology degree, right? And so not only did I just take some personal finance classes that really didn't teach me much other than like stocks, economics, things like that. They don't really teach you how to manage your personal finances. I started to self-study. I started to read books, watch videos. At that time, blogs was very popular. YouTube was starting to become popular, but it was a lot of books, audio books, things like that on how to manage money, how to build wealth, how to build a business, how to get out of debt, how to build your savings, all these different things, right? And I created a plan for myself. So I kind of pieced together all the information that I learned from different people that I read from around the internet and from the library. And I kind of pieced together a financial plan that I was going to execute once I graduated college and really had the income to start addressing my personal finances, right? So I ended up moving back in during that time that I was in college, moved back in with my mom to save money. And not only did I move back in to save money, but also I did incur some debt because I had to break my lease and I didn't have money to pay that lease. So it was kind of like on the back burner. So when you think about my $60,000 in debt, it was the money that I had to pay back to the apartment complex. It was an auto loan that I had. And then once I graduated, it was some student loans that became due. All right. So once I graduated, I went from being a nurse tech. So I was working at the local hospital as a nurse tech so I can get patient care hours to go to medical school. But once I graduated with my biology degree, I decided to work at a local manufacturing company in their quality assurance department and their research design department. They accept those individuals who graduated with a biology degree. You made great money starting off. You had the ability to really double and triple your income very fast. And so I went that route. So I applied there, got it immediately, was working there for a few years, doubled my income from where I was working at the hospital and I was working at, it's called Amway. I was working at Amway, doubled and tripled my income while I was there. That'd be in a separate video about how to really drive value in the workforce to really where you could just set your own salary and really just move up in the company very quickly. I'll talk to you more about that. But I really just focused on increasing my income. So that was number one, focused on increasing my income. And so how I did that was I moved from a situation to where I only made a certain amount of money an hour to where I doubled the amount of money that I can make in an hour, right? The next thing I did was I created a monthly budget. Now, before then, I never really knew how to budget. I never really created a monthly budget before I started learning all about that, right? So when I created a monthly budget, I was able to see my income, see my expenses, and also see my disposable income. All right. Now your disposable income is your income minus your expenses that you have to pay. So like, let's say if your income is $3,000 and then you have to pay, your medical bills, you got to pay your rent, you got to pay your utilities, you got to pay minimum payments on your credit cards, you got to pay your car note, like, all those, just list all those different things that you got to pay for each and every month in order to stay ahead, right? Then whatever you have left over, that is your disposable income. All right. So I had to calculate my disposable income because my goal at that point was to become debt free, to get out of debt, to really get a handle on my finances. And so I really wanted to see how much money do I have each and every month to throw at this financial goal. So my plan was to increase my income, decrease my debt, increase my savings at that point. Back in 2012, that was my basic financial plan. Now my financial plan is much more elevated, but back then it was like, I'm just here for financial stability. I just want to get my debt to income ratio down. I just want to make sure that I can feed myself, feed my daughter, don't have to worry about monthly bills, don't have to stress about stuff, make sure I have enough money for groceries, make sure I don't get back on public assistance. Like, I had very basic financial goals that are really good goals, right? So first thing I did was look at that budget. All right, let me see my disposable income. Oh, wait, hold on. I don't have a lot of disposable income to throw money at debt and to throw money at my savings in the rate in which I wanted to. My goal was to pay off over $60,000 in less than 2 years, right? So I just gave myself a 2-year time limit. Now that was very ambitious of me, right? Especially as a single mother, wasn't getting child support, still don't get child support, wasn't getting child support, right? So that was just only on my income. So what I did was I not only increased my income through my 9 to 5, but I also started side hustling. I had to realize what was I good at. At that time, I was really good at extreme couponing. I was really good at budgeting because I mastered how to monthly budget. At this time, I was not a financial coach. At this time, Your Pretty Pennies did not exist, right? I was just literally working my own plan for myself. I had no desire to run a business at that point. I thought I was going to work my way up at Amway, right? I thought I was good, right? So I was like, okay, what am I good at? So then I started side hustling, and I made sure I had a side hustle that I can involve my child so that she was already in school. I was already going to work from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., working 8 hours a day, sometimes 7, sometimes 9, depending on, I could make my own schedule at that point, as long as I made 40 hours a week. I didn't want to have any more time away from her. So I made sure whatever my side hustle was, I was able to still have her alongside with me to where, we're still spending quality time. I'm pouring into her. I'm teaching her these financial principles that I didn't learn when I was younger, and that I'm just really breaking that generational cycle of poverty, of poor money management, of financial illiteracy, right? So I created a side hustle to where on the weekends, I would host extreme couponing classes and budgeting classes where I would teach women how to lower their monthly bill, their monthly shopping bill by spending little to no money on groceries, on toiletries, on household products like paper towels, tissue, things like that. And then also how to budget their money each month. And I just did it at my local library. It was free for me to get a little room there, or there was individuals who will help me out at apartment complexes. You have like clubhouses and like, the little house where it's on the leasing office where they have a little room or something like that. Well, my friends would reserve the building for me to where I can go there, invite a bunch of women. I used to charge between $12 to $20 a class. It'd be like 30, 40 women. And in a weekend, I can make upwards of $200 to $400 to $600 in a weekend by doing 2 classes, extreme couponing, selling my stockpile, different things like that. So girl, I was side hustling, and I was able to keep my daughter in tow. That is one thing I teach women, especially women who are mothers. Do not forfeit the time with your children. You cannot get that back. Instead, do something that they can do it alongside of you. So where you're teaching them a skill, you're teaching them how to earn money, you're teaching them how to be a productive woman in society. And you know what I'm saying? It's just, you just have that quality time with them, right? You have that quality time with them. They'll never forget. They can run around. Other women can bring their children. Their children can play together in the back or whatever else, and it's all good, right? So then I increased my disposable income by, like I said, increasing my 9-to-5 income and also side hustling to where I'm bringing in more income. Then I had to decide what is my first, second, third, fourth, fifth financial goals, right? So I created a list, and my first financial goal was to put a little bit of money in savings. Now, I wasn't trying to fully fund my emergency fund because at that time, everybody kept saying 3 to 6 months worth of expenses in your savings account. Well, I didn't have that kind of time if I was trying to pay off debt in 2 years, right? So I just put $2,000 to the side, and that just stayed in a savings account, and that just went for things like if something happened with my car, if something happened to where my daughter had a field trip and I didn't budget for it that month, or if we had a last minute death in the family and I needed to get on an airplane to go somewhere because I have a lot of family in different areas of the country. So, there just anything that I wasn't planning for in my monthly budget, that is what I use that savings for, right? And whenever I was working on a financial goal, if I had to use money out of that savings account, I would stop my current financial goal and replenish that savings account to $2,000, and then I would go back to what I was doing. Right. And so at the point of this video is talking about how I paid off over $60,000 in less than 2 years. My main goal was that. My main goal was throwing money at the debt. Right. So I got my savings account to $2,000. Then I stopped saving. And then I focused on debt repayment. Once I started doing that, I started doing because at that time, I think Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman talked about, putting your expenses from the lowest amount to the highest amount at that time. So I was like, all right, I'm going to pay this apartment back. I had owed some money to my mom. I'm going to pay her back. And then I'm going to pay off this car note. And then I'm going to start paying some money on student loans. All right. And so that will allow me to pay off over $60,000 in less than 2 years by increasing my income, side hustling, paying the minimum payments on all my expenses, all my bills, basically just cutting anything out of my budget that I did not need. It was a temporary sacrifice that I did not need. At that time, I did not have cable. Comcast, Xfinity, digital cable was still popular back then, and there wasn't a lot of streaming apps back then. I still cut it out. And the only thing I had was Netflix, and I used my mom's account. And so I really wasn't a big TV watcher back then. My daughter was, because she was young, so she liked all the different movies and shows that came out. And so what I did was I just got Netflix, and then also I bought her DVDs. The red box was before Netflix. The red box was out. So I used to go to the red box and get movies for $1, get cartoon shows for $1, and just play those for her. She wasn't picky as long as it was something on the screen. She didn't care or whatever. I just cut out everything that I possibly could when it came to my expenses, to where the more money can go to debt than it goes to me living and functioning in my household. Okay. I learned how to meal plan. I learned how to bring my food to work. I learned how to really just pare down my budget, increase my income, decrease my expenses, so that money in the middle can go straight towards debt. And I got to keep reiterating that, because if you want to get ahead in your finances in your 20s and 30s, that is really the name of the game. Pare down on what you need to spend every month. Increase your income as much as possible without sacrificing your children and time with your children if you are a mother. And use all that extra income to go to debt. Do not go to the grocery store and buy more groceries. Do not start buying junk food. Do not start Uber eating. Do not start buying on Fashion Nova. Do not start hitting up your favorite Instagram boutiques. That ain't what we doing in this time. If your goal is to pay down massive amounts of debt, stay focused. This is a temporary financial goal that you can work on and that you can execute that will have long-term gain. All right, sis? So thank you so much for watching this video. I really enjoyed you being here. So please make sure that you share this video with anyone. Think of at least one woman in your life that you can share this video with. Share this with her, all right? Also, make sure you like and subscribe, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye.